Yo, what's up, everyone? This is Terry with College Football Stop, bringing you another show today. Got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. It's kind of getting crazy. I expected things to die down because, this is my first time doing content around this time of the year. But I'm realizing now that that's not going to be the case. I think that we're going to have a lot to talk about for quite a while now because Ohio State's losing guys to the transfer portal. Obviously, the big one, the one that was announced this morning, Kyle McCord. We're going to talk about that, where Ohio State goes from here, and then a couple other names that I felt like were going to be contributors on this team going into next year. So it's interesting. I think that Ohio State's going to be aggressive in the transfer portal. I don't have a ton of names or anything yet on what they're planning on doing, but I do have it under a good consideration or a good word that they are going to be aggressive in the portal um, in this first window. So I'm excited about it, man. We'll see how it plays out. Obviously, we'll talk a little bit about the Cotton Bowl. Ohio State kind of got in my opinion, kind of a shitty bowl draw, but I'm glad that it's an SEC team and it's a team that the teams in the SEC respect. So, like if you remember when Georgia was going to play Missouri, Georgia was not overly confident that they were just going to go in there and stomp Missouri out, and I think that most of Missouri's players are going to play. So I'm excited to talk about that too. But let's start with this transfer portal stuff. Let's start from the top. Like I said, Kyle McCord entered the portal this morning at like 6 a.m. I don't. I mean, I don't want to say I expected this, but I mean, I just think that after everything that happened this year, there was just no way that Ryan Day could trot Kyle McCord out on the field again. And one, him be confident, and two, anyone on the team or anyone in the fan base to even have confidence that he was going to go out there and get the job done. Honestly, and most of us were saying like we want to see a different quarterback in the bowl game. It looks like we're going to get our wish with that. Kyle, again, I don't know exactly how it played out. Like if Ryan Day told him it's time for you to go, but in my opinion, what probably happened, Ryan Day had a press conference yesterday, and he was asked about the quarterback position, and his response was not like Kyle McCord's our guy. His response was everybody's going to get a chance. They're going to get a chance to compete. And from what I've heard about Kyle McCord and the situation that he's, or that how should I word this? The situation with him overall is that if he wasn't guaranteed that spot, he was probably going to leave. And I just think that if you're Ryan Day, that you can't. Like you're losing the whole fan base. If you go on in front of a mic and guarantee him the starting job next year, you're losing your whole quarterback room and you're losing your fan base who can clearly see that he was one of the issues with this team this year. There's obviously other issues that need to be addressed, but I mean, the quarterback touches the ball every single time. So every single play the quarterback touches the ball, you need a guy in that position who can manage the game and who can make plays and be a difference maker. And that's not what Kyle McCord was. He was a game manager who also made terrible mistakes, which is like you can't have that. If you're going to be a game manager, you can't make mistakes. That's just how it is. Unfortunately, that this is big time football, and these kids are making millions of dollars now. So I hate to dog the kid or talk about him or whatever, but like he wasn't good enough, and that's just simply what it was. He wasn't good enough to play here, and it's not his fault. He probably should have never been put in that position. Ryan Day should have realized that and either got a quarterback last year or started the quarterback who, even though he was younger, was better in Devin Brown. And I mean, again, that's just the word that was put out from multiple people, was that Devin Brown basically won the quarterback battle. The coaches voted for Devin Brown, and Ryan Day decided to go with Kyle McCord. I mean, I don't know. I can say, if I'm being completely honest, that I haven't seen anything from Devin Brown that tells me that he is going to 100% for a fact be way better than Kyle McCord. But what I have seen from Devin Brown is an upside that we never saw from Kyle McCord this entire year. And when I'm talking about an upside, I mean there's 4 or 5 throws that Devin Brown made in the limited attempts that he got this year, where it was like, okay, we haven't seen Kyle make that throw, and that throw can't be defended. So if he can make that throw, and you can just work with him on getting consistent, which would happen over time with getting reps, I mean, to me, that's a higher ceiling. And then you look at the other thing that Devin Brown brings to the table, which is the ability to run the ball. And it seems like he's able to do some of that like power run stuff. And also, I know that when the pocket breaks down, like if we have a quarterback like him, or this goes for Lincoln Keenholz too. I want to talk about him a little bit also. But with a quarterback like Devin Brown or Lincoln Keenholz, if the other team is going to play just send four and have the rest of their team play back in man, or with their eyes not on the quarterback, either one of those guys can run and get you 5 or 6 yards and keep you on schedule. And that's one of the biggest things that no one wants to talk about with a quarterback that's not mobile, is even guys like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning in the NFL, some of the greatest quarterbacks ever. If the defense is just going to turn around and not look at them, they're going to run and get 3 or 4 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards, and then get out of bounds or get down on the ground. I mean, that should not be at this level of football. Excuse me. At this level of football, that's not something that should be. It shouldn't be difficult to ask your quarterback to do that. Like, and Kyle McCord didn't. I know he was injured, whatever, but bottom line is that we need someone back there who is going to command the game. And if we're going to have someone who is aggressive with the ball and also makes mistakes, I'm honestly okay with that too. It's just like the way that the offense played this year. I said it all year long, and maybe late towards the end of the year when we got closer to the Michigan game, I started lying a little bit. But it is what it is. It's my team, and I'm not going to come out here and talk about our issues when it's Michigan time. We're going to talk about beating their ass, even though we didn't. But I said all year that if this team lost the game, it was going to be because of the offense, because of Kyle McCord and the offense not being able to score points. And that's what happened in the Michigan game. I mean, not only did they not score points, they gave Michigan 7 points basically by throwing an interception and having them get the ball at the 5-yard line. So I don't know, to answer like the overall question of the show today. And let me know in the chat too if you guys are here. Let me know, does Ohio State have to get a quarterback in the transfer portal? I think, me personally, I think it's a good idea to bring one in for competition. Ryan Day always says he wants 4 guys in that room. Now, it's not going to happen this way, but you want to at least make sure you have 3, right? So if he were to bring in one more quarterback and you have transfer quarterback Devin Brown, Lincoln Keenholz, right now Tristan Gebbia, but next year you would have Aaron Noland and Tristan Gebbia. I'm guessing we'll probably move on and go be a GA somewhere or something. But I mean, that's a good quarterback room, and I think that that's a good idea to bring that in, especially for competition. I just don't know if you go after the surefire guy who you have to promise the starting job. I don't think that you want a quarterback in this room that you have to promise the starting job to, because I think that's probably what got Ryan Day in the position that he was in this year. I think that maybe Ryan Day wanted Kyle McCord to stay for his 3rd year, and he had to sit 2 years behind CJ. And I think that maybe he told him, like, look, you're going to be the starter. And I mean, I don't know. We saw how that played out. Obviously, I just don't think he was good enough to play here. But anyway, you have a transfer portal QB, and then you would have Devin Brown, Lincoln Keenholz, and Aaron Noland going into next year. And then once a starter is named for the 2024 season, you're probably going to lose at least one. And so that's where I think maybe you come into the year, you figure out who your starter is between those 4 that I named. You probably lose one. And then once that happens, then you have 3, one of those being a true freshman in Aaron Noland, who I think is coming in January. So, I mean, he's going to have time to get ready and at least be a depth piece for Ohio State. So, and I think he's uber talented. I'm excited for him too. So I think the correct answer probably is yes, you need to bring in a quarterback. I just hope that we don't get in a situation where we bring in a quarterback and promise him the starting job for 24 and then end up losing, some other guys on this roster that are super talented. Because you don't want to go into the year. I mean, I know we did it in 2019, but these are Ryan Day's guys, so I don't expect that to happen. Oh, sorry, guys. But anyway, these are Ryan Day's guys, so I don't expect that to happen. But you look at 2019, Ryan Day brought in Justin Fields and kind of just destroyed the quarterback room. And it was Justin Fields with like chugging all this as backup, so we couldn't afford for Fields to be super aggressive or end up getting hurt. So, I mean, you don't want something like that, right? But At the same time, if you could bring in a surefire starter that you can try to win a national championship with, you bring that guy in. So it's an interesting topic. I'm super excited to see how it plays out. I do want to talk about some of these other guys in the portal here. So some of the new names that entered over the last 24 hours was Kai Stokes and Jair Brown. Both of these I think were probably hits. I think in terms of depth, especially. Now I think that Ohio State's planning on being very aggressive in the portal. So maybe these are positions where um, maybe they have guys that they plan to start in those positions next year, and then also Ohio State may be looking at bringing in portal guys in these positions. So Kai Stokes was a safety, kind of a ball hawk type guy, not like a bigger run stopping safety, but I really liked him and his upside. I even made a tweet about it. Like whoever gets him is getting a ball hawk and somebody who I think can be a real contributor. So I wish the best of luck to that kid. And Kyle McCord. I wish the best of luck to all these kids, man. Like where I'm coming from this, like me personally, I sat down this morning when I saw the news. I put my phone down and I said a prayer for Kyle McCord. I don't know where you guys are at for that. I know it's a business. I know all that good stuff. But for me, even though the kid's making a lot of money, even though, I'm going to sit here and speak the truth about I think he was not good enough, I wish the best for him, for his family. Hopefully he ends up at a spot where he can develop and kind of live out his dream of playing football. So anyway, moving on. Jair Brown, again, another guy who I think was probably a depth piece that it kind of sucks to lose him. He was one of them guys who I always felt like would probably never start at Ohio State, but one that I loved. I mean, he started a little bit in 2021, but that cornerback room was so depleted. But also, I liked having him around as a depth piece, and because he was a good football player. Hopefully, he'll end up at a good program and he'll make some noise. Another guy that entered recently was Parker Lewis, a kicker. Never really did anything at Ohio State, so it is what it is. Good luck to him. Ryan Turner, this is another guy who I thought was a good depth piece. So when you saw the backup defense come in, it seemed like Ryan Turner came in at the slot, and he was one of them guys who was out there like laying hits on people. Looked like he was just having a great time. So hate to lose him, but at the same time, it's just another guy who was probably never going to be a starter here. I think that between Ryan Turner, Jair Brown, and Kai Stokes, I think those guys are good enough to go be a starter somewhere else on a P5 team. So this is no knock against them when I say they wouldn't be a starter here. It really just is all position based and kind of like what Ohio State has at that position compared to how much development the person needs that's entering the portal. And then I want to talk about the last couple guys that entered already. I already talked about them a little bit. Evan Pryor, I think, was an unfortunate one, but that kid's ready to go be a starter somewhere. He came in the class with Travion Henderson, expecting to be like the 1-2 punch with him, and then injuries kind of kept him out of the lineup, and apparently he's not going to be the surefire starter next year because he's out of here. He's heading out of here. So, and then you have Vic Cutler, Cam Martinez, Amari Abor. We already talked about those guys on my other shows. So I don't know, man. Ohio State has like 9 players I think that are in the portal already. I didn't count them. It's going to be a big portal season. Even Ryan Day said that himself. He said, "Look, we're expecting a lot of movement in and out." And I'm loving that because I think that what Ohio State has right now, they kind of have a culture issue. They kind of have the fire's not there. And the one room last year that I felt like had the most fire and was the best unit on our team was the cornerback room. And why? Why did that room have much more fire than all the other rooms? Why did that room look so much better and look so much more competitive than the other rooms? The one reason for that is because Ohio State brought in Davison Igbinosun. At least that's my opinion. Obviously, you got to give some credit to Tim Walton, the other guys in the room, but I think Iggy came in that room and lit a fire under all of them. He's super competitive. He said, "Look, I'm taking me a starting spot," and he did take a starting spot. And honestly, Iggy winning that starting job at the one outside corner spot was probably the best thing that ever happened for Jordan Hancock. And instead of leaving, I want to bounce off of this topic, but instead of leaving, Jordan Hancock stayed, he competed, and he put together a hell of a season. It's probably going to end up being a draftable player now. And end up being an NFL player because he stuck around, he slid over to the slot, he was a team player, and it paid off for him big time. But none of that would have happened if Davison Igbinosun didn't get brought into that room. We would have had, I'm going to just throw this out there, we probably would have had Jordan Hancock at one corner spot, Denzel Burke at the other one, and then Cam Martinez in the slot maybe. I don't even want to think about that. But anyway, bringing in guys, it just ultimately breeds competition, especially guys from outside the program, because these guys are not all buddy yet. They get in there and they start practicing with the team, and it's like this guy knows that he has to be better than everyone else to steal the job away. So that means everyone else has to be better if they don't want to lose their job. So hopefully we continue bringing guys in that are, high-level football players. I think that Ryan Day is going to do this. And I think that he needs to just for optics, right? Right now, the optics for Ohio State is really bad. Ohio State lost to Michigan, going to the fucking Cotton Bowl to play Missouri, who is like ranked number 9. Just lost a big 5-star recruit. Watching all these guys enter the transfer portal, the optics for Ohio State and for Ryan Day are really bad. Obviously, 3 losses in a row to Michigan, didn't make the college football playoffs. I mean, optically, like I said, it looks really bad, and a lot of people have heat on Ryan Day, and they should. I mean, if he doesn't make the right moves in this offseason, this is probably his last season at Ohio State. And I don't have word of that. That's just kind of what I think about it. I think that Ryan Day is kind of on his last leg now. Even though they went 11-1, I just think that the decision-making and some of that is showing to be a problem. And with a new athletic director coming in, if he doesn't like what he sees in the first year, there's a chance that he could decide, like, hey, we need to move on from this situation. So also Ryan Day, if things don't go well this year, I think that he would look to seek an NFL job and kind of be done with college football. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, man. Like I said, Ryan Day he's got to do something. It's like the meme, like, do something when you poke him with the stick. Like we need some positive, or we need some steps forward for this program. Something for us to be happy and excited about, because right now no one's excited to play Missouri. Maybe a little more now than they were, because we know that it's not going to be Kyle McCord as the starting quarterback. We get to see some of the younger guys. I mean, I'm a little excited about it. I know that there's usually a lot of stuff that comes out, clips and stuff like that comes out during bowl prep. So that'll be exciting to see how some of these guys are coming along. But I'm excited to see the young guys play, man. I want to see CJ Hicks get out there and get a bunch of reps in this bowl season and get ready for next year. I want to see guys like Jermaine Matthews, Calvin Simpson Hunt, the young wide receivers. Man, it's going to look great out there when you have Carnell Tate, Brandon Ennis, Noah Rogers, Bryson Rogers. Maybe even some of the 22 guys will get some time. Kojo Antwi and oh man, the guy's his name's Keon Grays. There we go. Keon Grays has been injured though, so I don't know what his situation is. But just be on the lookout, man. Like I said, there's going to be more guys hitting the portal. I think honestly, I think this is probably just the beginning of it. We'll see maybe double what we have right now in the portal. Could be double, could be even more than that. But I expect Ryan Day to be super aggressive in bringing guys in. So there's going to be a lot of new blood on this team. And the Ohio State 2024 team is going to look way different than the 2023 team. And I'm hoping that it looks better. I'm hoping that we have an upgrade at the quarterback position. I think on offense, we will be solid all around in terms of the guys that are returning and what we have sitting behind them. Defense is just going to be like the wild, wild west to me, especially if most of the guys from that 2020 recruiting class, I think it was 2020, 2021, whatever, the class that's all juniors now, if most of them guys leave, the defense is going to be like wild, wild west, and we're going to see a lot of new faces over there. So I'm super excited about that too. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and wrap the show up here, guys. I didn't have a ton, just want to talk about this transfer portal stuff. We'll dig a little bit more into the matchup with Missouri as time goes on. But as always, guys, hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hope you enjoyed the content. Come back daily at usually 10 a.m. Had to go a little bit earlier today. Might move it back to 9:30. But, hey, I'll be tweeting it out. I'll be live. Peace out, guys. Have a great day.